Nigeria is full of surprises. Wait, this is my meeting. I'm supposed to be the host. And before you know, they pushed me out of the meeting. And the host went to another person. And I wanted to enter into my meeting to take charge. They were telling me that that it has reached maximum capacity. I'm the host now. I'm supposed to automatically lock somebody out. You know, Nigerians are very savvy in everything they do. They are very, very smart. I hope some, please, if you want to push another person out, I don't know whether you are using some kind of code, cheat and everything. Don't push me out. If you push me out, it means this meeting will not hold. You will miss you because I'm the one to run the training. So let's get down straight to business. All right, today's training, you know, is bettered from a question somebody asked me. A few people observed, like I was saying, yesterday, I posted the training late, you know, towards the late afternoon. Please, let's focus. All right, they can't join in on Zoom anymore. It's filled up. Towards the late afternoon, I posted the training because immediately after the person asked me that question, it just occurred to me that I should, you know, I should run the training. And I'll read what the person asked me. Please, are we ready? Okay, good. So the person asked me, we had quite a brief interaction before it got to this level. Sought my advice on different things, and then I advised him and encouraged him. If the person is here, I'm sure he will know that I'm referring to him. So he asked, he said, and lastly, sir, I wanted to ask, what is the secret to your current level of success? We have watched in trainings, and whenever we ask top leaders these kind of questions, they just laugh and tell us that there is no secret. They just did what they were supposed to do. But I would like to know, what is the secret of your current level of success in the business? I think he went for that to act because I have records I would need and love to break in the business. So I want to get personal advice from you, blah, 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 blah. So it's a question to know what? The secret of the success. So how many of you want to know the secrets? The truth about it is he already answered the question. All right. Like you said, many leaders will tell you that what? That there's no secret. And I won't tell you that there's no secret, because if I tell you, it look like I'm disappointing you. There are things you want to hear, right? So let's take it from a perspective you want to hear. So there are some secrets, all right? I'll be sharing it. What I'll be doing is, let me share my screen. I'll be taking you into it. So how many of you really want to learn this secret? Please, those on Zoom, let me know if you want to learn the secret. Acknowledge on the chat box. Let me know so that I'll know if I'm giving you the secret this morning. But it will shock you to know. The sound. The sound. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So everybody want to know the secret of what it takes to become successful. I'll start by now. That's the essence of this training. This is one of the powerful trainings I learned from some of my powerful teachers in this business. And the title of the training is what? What's the title? Match. That's what we want to do today. Teach you what to do to emerge successful in your business. All right. And I want you to pay very careful attention. All right. Now this is more of a mindset training. It's not a skill training. It's not really a leadership training. It's more of a mindset training, because here in Super Leadership Monday, we train majorly on 3 things, primarily on leadership, but there are 2 other things, which is the first one is what? Mindset, all right, and then we also train on skill set, and then we train on leadership. Now, and these are the 3 major things you need to become successful in your business. But for today, all right, it's more of a mindset training if you want to categorize it, and it's titled Emerge, all right, and The essence of this training is to put you in a state. Please, are we together? Yes. Good. Is to put you in a state, all right, where you have what it takes to emerge and become successful in your business, right? That is it. To emerge and become successful in your business, and that's where you need to be. That's what you want to do, all right? You want to become successful. Let me share this screen. Okay. Please, those on Zoom, you may need to confirm to me. Let me just do this, and then you confirm to me if you can actually see the screen. Let me share it one more time. Okay, with sound, right? Yes, I will. Okay. All right, so for this training, you're going to be learning what it takes to emerge, all right? And that's what you really need, all right? Now, the reality is, of course, it's a mindset training. So what I'm doing is to take your mind to the lab, work on it, all right? Maybe to the workshop, work on it, reset it so that you can actually do what it takes to emerge. A lot of you probably would have become successful in this business maybe a long time before now. But I think what you really need is to imbibe the right state of mind. You need a mind check. I think there was a time the president did a mind check training for us, right? I think the mind kind of lab setting. What do you call it? Mind clinic, mindset clinic, right? Yes, that's it. Sometimes you need, in fact, you need that all the time to time, in fact. All right. And that's what will help you, succeed faster in the business. So if anybody asks me, what's your secret of success? I think it will start from the most important thing, which is your mindset. You need to start by having the right mindset. All right. Please follow me carefully. Please follow me carefully. Having the right mindset. And this is what you would need to really emerge and become successful. So we're talking about emerge. Let's even look at it. What does it mean to emerge? All right. Some of us probably are hearing that word, maybe not for the first time. We've heard it time to time. All right. So what does it mean to emerge? We have several dictionary meanings of emerge, defining emerge, right? So to emerge, all right, the dictionary tells us that to emerge means to do what? To become one, to become manifest, or to become known, right? To become known, to become clear, to become, to go out of obscurity. So to become manifest, it means to emerge. So many of you have been in the business for some time, and nobody is knowing you. Even when you join the business newly, nobody really knows you, maybe except your upline. Dr. Omar doesn't know you. Huh? Is it not true? If the mastermind doesn't know you, the president doesn't know you. The president knows me, all right? That's because I've emerged. Did you get the logic? It's not because he signed me up, and it's not because I'm his friend. It's not because I knew him right from time or something. No, all right? The team was a team of thousands of people, and he doesn't know everybody in the team, but he knows me. Why? Because I've emerged. He knows Dr. Elijah Mba because Dr. Elijah Mba has emerged. All right. The mastermind got to know me. I became manifest to him when I did what? When I emerged. That is it. For many of you, guess what? You're not known. You're just down there, and that's because you've not emerged. So when you become known, when you become manifest, all right, that's what shows you have emerged. And when you emerge, then you become known, become manifest. And what we're going to be doing in this training is to teach you what it takes for you to work, to emerge, to become known, be celebrated. All right. Many of you didn't know Gift, okay, isn't it? Where did you get to know her? after she was celebrated. So what happened? She eventually did what? She emerged. If she was not celebrated, nobody would knew one 22 or 21, 22, 3 years old lady, one small girl there who was in miniature, one hidden place, was busy with what she was doing. Nobody knew her. And guess what? But when she eventually emerged, she became known. Esomchi was top 3, isn't it? Yes. Yes, it was top 3. And guess what? Nobody knew him. I remember when I was in Lagos, I think that was 2019 ending or 2020, beginning of 2020 or 2019, within that period. That was when I first got to see something, and that was when he newly started the business. I think towards the end of 2019, that there was one this went to in Lagos. That was like a retreat, everybody event, right? So like when we just shortly before that event, or was it after the event in 2020, I guess, shortly before the corona pandemic. I think the pandemic was 2020, right? Shortly before the corona pandemic was when I got to know something. He was new and he was a youth corper. He was still serving. He was still serving. So I'll see him in the office with his youth corper unit, with his core dress. That is it not youth corper they call it, right? Youth corps, or what they call it. Please don't worry about my English. Okay? Just get the message, okay? That's it. So youth corps, like they call it. So I'll see him on that uniform, and sometimes we interact. And he has asked me the same question. Somebody asked me on Zoom. He met me because we used to go to Lagos on rotation, based on the draft of the mastermind. So whenever I'm on shift, I'm usually together with my very good friend. You all know him, right? Who is he? Yes, so we'll be together, and then some people ask me, sir, please, you people are successful. You have made it in this business. Please, just tell me, how did you do this thing? Yeah? How did you eventually do it? So that, because see, I want to succeed in business. I've already made up my mind, even after my service, this is where I want to focus all my energy and everything. This is where I want to dedicate my life. So I just want you to tell me what you did. How did you do it? So he actually wanted to do what? Emerge. The reality is he already had what it takes. You understand? When he asked me that question, I was smiling. And I told him that the same thing. And that's what is very common when you ask leaders, will tell you that there's no secret. So when I saw him, I knew that he already had what it takes. When I saw him celebrated, I wasn't surprised. Right? I wasn't surprised. He only became known eventually when he emerged. But there were things he did, or there was a state he should have been before he could have emerged. And I saw that he already had it. So I told him, because I saw him with a big book, those kind of statements where he said, I've already dedicated myself to this business. And I saw him with a big book, this kind of hardcover exercise book. It's bigger than the long one, like this one. And in fact, that book was almost to half of it, contacts of both himself and his downlines that are there that he has been booking. And he only had one downline then, one major active team member. And I also knew the guy, but I've forgotten his name. If he was in this training, he would have told me the guy. I don't know if he's still active in the business. The guy is young also. I guess he too was a copper, I guess. I think he was also a copper. That was the person I knew that was his major active team member. So nobody knew SMG. Nobody knew him. But in the last celebration, he was celebrated as top what? 3. And when SMG is corner, you all know him. Why? Because he has what? Emerged. So when you become known, it means you have emerged. That is it. You become recognized. All right? You become manifest. The truth about it is this. He was already, I would say, destined for success. He already has what it takes. When I interacted with him, I could see that this guy will succeed if he's true to what he's telling. If what he's telling me, people will say something with mouth to talk, like they say, talk is cheap, isn't it? So when I looked at him, I said, if what you're telling me is true, don't worry, you will succeed. The only thing, just proceed with what you're doing. Be consistent, you get there. And this was 3 years ago, or less than 3 years ago. And today he's known, he's top 3. I'm proud of it, right? So to emerge can also mean to rise from, or as if from an enveloping fluid, or to rise out of something. When something is enclosed, and guess what? It rises off that enclosure. Guess what? It means that thing have emerged. For example, a person is inside the water. When the diver comes out into view, you see the diver has done what? Emerged. A chick from an egg, a chick from an egg. You are seeing the egg. So when the egg cracks from within, if the egg cracks from outside, it means the chick is dead. When you crack the shell from outside, life stops. When it cracks from within, life one begins, right? So that's it. So when the chick cracks from within, right? From within the egg, from inside the egg, and cracks out. English how do? I wanted to say cracks out. Cracks out from within, it means the chick has done what? Emerge. That is it. So understand that. And of course, to emerge, there are several definitions, but they are all pointing to the same thing. So emerge can also mean to rise from an obscure, right? From a position that is not so clear, or from an inferior position, or an inferior condition. All right. So that's why before someone can become a leader, that person has to do what? If a person must become a leader, he has to do what? Emerge. That's it. So, and that's what many of you need to do. You need to emerge. All right. And that's what you actually want. Man, I want to succeed. I want to become financially free. I want to make it in this business. You need to emerge. When you emerge, then it means you've left that condition or that position, that inferior position. Like some of my teachers will tell me that the bottom is too crowded. Find every way to rise to where? Find every way to find a way to the top. The bottom is too crowded. There are 2 million, how many? I think Nigeria is estimated to have how many million people? Over 200 million people. How many presidents does Nigeria have? It's one president. How many House of Assemblies, how many House Senators, how many governors? 36, is it 36 or 35 governors plus this FCT minister, right? So there are 200 million, more than 200 million people, but with 36 governors, or 37, 36 governors. Do you see how crowded the bottom is? The bottom is too crowded. Rise to the top. When you're an ordinary Nigerian working, nobody knows you. But when you emerge, you become known, you become manifest, right? That is it. So that's why to become a leader, someone has to emerge before he can become a what? A leader. All right? And it takes a process. So to emerge can also mean to come into being through what? Evolution. That's why nobody rises one day. Let me tell you how the thing operates. If you wake up one day and say, man, this guy, regardless of how beautiful your ideas are, all that. I cannot just wake up. Dr. Mark cannot just wake up. You people might know me. Yes, that's true. If I decide to become the president of the country, you people will support me. You might decide to support me. But guess what? Nigerians, would they do that? That's because I've not gone through the process. Evolution is the process. You see, they always look at the track record. Has he been a minister before? Or has he done? What has he done? I cancel. No. Oh, he has been a council. Okay, chairman. Oh, okay. Oh, he was in the House of Assembly. What did he do and all that and all that? Through evolution. And then he emerges. All right. So please take note. Now, please, do we understand the meaning of emerge? Yes. Beautiful. And that's what you need to do. You need to emerge so that you can become known. You need to become successful. Right? Now the question will be why? Why do you need to emerge? All right. I love to make this thing very simple. That's why I put it in this form. All right. There are different ways. I copy this pattern from some of my teachers. They love to make it very simple. All right. Very simple. Simplicity can be so powerful. All right. So why do you need to emerge? Why do you need to, emerge? Now, you need to emerge because for a couple of reasons. Now, there are many reasons. Why do you think you need to emerge, Mr. Mukaila? Somebody write on the chat box, why do you think you need to emerge? Tell me why you think you need to emerge. You can write it on the chat box while you're listening to me. Give me your opinion. Why do you think you need to emerge? Please say it. Tell me if you think. You want to say something? So you can become successful in life. Okay. Why do you think you need to emerge? You want to be known in the organization? Okay. All right. Yes, she's shaking her head. Please tell us. All right. Okay. You want to be above your present condition. Okay. Pardon? So that you can fulfill your dream. Okay. Let me take from those on Zoom. Let me see what they are writing. I can't see anything. Okay, yes. Somebody said because my position is at the top. Somebody said to become financially free, all right, to attain financial freedom. Well, there are a couple of reasons why you need to become an inspiration to others. All right, so that for dream fulfillment. The truth about it is this: every single thing you mentioned is within the reasons why you should emerge. And if you know the reason why you are doing your business, that's your reason why you need to emerge. So it boils down to having a strong reason why you are doing this business. And that's where the point is for many people. Many of you will not emerge until you have a very, very tough and a strong reason to emerge. So it starts from there. All right? So the why you should emerge is the why of your business. The reason why you should emerge is the reason why you're doing this business. So that's whenever anybody asks you, why do you need to emerge? The reason why you need to emerge is you need to first of all, one thing, why did you even start this business in the first place? What did you see the first time you started this business? What do you want to become? Why are you doing this business? You want to become successful. Well, that's a broad term. Success in itself is broad. But specifically, what do you want to achieve? All right? If you achieve what you want to achieve, it means you are successful. For some persons, our success differs. For me, what might be success to me might not be success to you. That's it. All right. So why do you need to emerge? So for some of you, and let me give you some of the reasons, and it captured the most of the things you said. All right. Someone to become useful and to change life positively through my success. All these are amazing reasons. All right. Now, how bad do you want it? Now, why do you need to emerge? Financial independence and security. So I'll just run through. It captures most of the things you said. All right. So boiling down to the reason why you started this business in the first place. The reason why many people will play with this business, they'll play and play and play with this business, and they will never get anything out of this business, is because they don't even know the reason why they should even succeed. Or probably they know, but guess what? They forgot about it. At some point in time, they forgot about it and they lost commitment. Yes. So financial independence and security. You see, I tell people, when it comes to financial independence, hello? When it comes to financial independence, see, if you understand the way the economy is going, I want to bring it down to the Nigerian factor. It's global, but let me be more specific about the Nigerian factor. If you understand the trajectory, the direction of the economy, you will know that financial independence is not a choice. It's not a thing of whether you like it or not. It's a thing of whether you like it or yes. To become financially independent, to become financially secure, to become financially free, is no longer a thing of whether you like it or not. Because if you fail to understand this, you might need to pay a steep price for that ignorance. Trust me, that's what many people who fail to understand this will pay a steep price, a very expensive price, for their failure to understand that financial independence in this economy is not a thing of whether I like it or not. It's a mandate, it's a must do. If you don't understand it from that perspective, you will keep playing around and wasting time. And that's what happens to many people. That's why they have all the excuses to make. And that's why they will never, never, ever emerge. Right? That is it. So you want to become financially independent. It's a big thing. Now, how many of you are aware? Let me bring it down so that you know what we're talking about. People study, they go to school primarily. They study to become specifically, you say successful, yeah, that's true, but specifically to do what? To get some level of money, isn't it, right? In fact, in their mind, most times, and that's a very absurd way, and that's so unfortunate. They go to school from nursery, primary to secondary to the university, down to get a degree, so that they want to get the degree in anticipation that when they get the degree, they can become, generally speaking, though those who understand it knows that that's not, it doesn't hold water these days. But however, it's still a reason why many people go to school. Is that correct? Yeah. Beautiful. And we have people who, after the first degree, because they didn't emerge, they want to emerge, isn't it? Yes. But they forgot that that's not the right place, that's not the place. Point of emergence now, you see that area is a no-go area. If you are going there, go and get your certificate and get your degree and get your qualification, get your exposure, and any other reason why you are going there. But if you say you want to get financial freedom, Oga, you are on the wrong path. Please take note. If this financial freedom, you already failed from starting. I'm saying this, especially for those parents who want to sacrifice all their life, putting all their eggs in the basket of their child's certificate, hoping that when the child becomes an accountant, he will come and bail them out of poverty. Madam, Oga, you're already trading in danger. Let's come to reality. ASU has been on strike since when? 7 months. Since February. Which month are we? So this is going to more than 6 months, right? 7 months. About 7 months they've been on strike. Have they been paid since the past 6-7 months? No. Now let me tell you why I told you that financial independence is no longer a thing of whether you like it or not. Do you know what that means? It means anybody that is a lecturer in the university. Let me even tell you how it works. I ran a presentation for a professor. My professor, my what? My professor who taught me in school. I ran a presentation for him here in Governor that when we were done with the presentation, he couldn't sign up. He didn't have the money to sign up. Wait, you are saying, Chai, wait, let me tell you, that's not the bad one. Listen very well. Listen very well. That's not the problem. After running the presentation, the problem was not that he didn't have the money to start. That's quite saddening to see somebody that have been studying for many years and have been even not even studying, have been lecturing, writing papers upon papers and journal, publishing journals for many years, and is now a prof and has been a prof for years. And this is someone that is seeing an opportunity for whereby as low as 50,000 naira you can start, but cannot afford the money. You thought it's bad. Let me tell you what is worse. The worst of it is the guy needed even financial assistance from me after I was done with the presentation. And guess how much the guy needed? The professor needed. Who can guess? 2,000 naira. It sounds funny. You know, you are young. Most of you are laughing at me. Keep laughing. Let me tell you this. I made a statement at the beginning. I'm only using this as an example to help you appreciate. There are many other examples you can extrapolate. Now, listen very well. The only reason he's paying a steep price. You know why? Because he refused to be financially independent. Before he can earn, it means his money has to come from the government. And I want to advise anybody here. If you keep your resources or your source of income, you lay the ladder of your source of income or your whatever you call it, your source of income, you put it in the basket of the government or your boss. Somebody say, child. There were times it was okay. Now understand it. It's no longer the start. Things have changed, actually. There were times it was beautiful. It used to be very okay. You see, the security, the job security is an illusion now. But then it used to be real. I was being honest with you. Whereby once you get that job, 40 years, if even when you are done, everybody. But it's no longer like that. That job security is an illusion. If you fail to take charge of your finances, you know, look at the mistake. My mentor warned me against this mistake. He said, Dr. Omar, he said, we like this as we did like this. You know, say that we go good to our parents. You know, we are the ones that anytime our parents tells us anything, is yes, my. It's a children of now. Any parent making that mistake, you say you want to use your children as social security. You know what I mean? Social security. You pay a steep price if you are not careful. If you are fortunate, you might escape it. Financial security, using your children as financial security. Dr. Victor said, focus on yourself, Dr. Umar. You see those children? They are already born. He said they are already what? Born. And that's a very powerful statement. And I regurgitated over it. I talked about it deeply. He said they're already born. He said, look at me, Dr. Umar. Who knew I will ever become what I am today? He said, look at where I came from. If you know the community I came from, Nobody knew, meaning their success is not really in your hand. It's in whose hand? It's in God's hand. But however, there are things you must play. You have responsibility. Discharge your responsibility within your capacity. But to use your children as financial security or financial independence as a means of social security, it's not a good idea. Go for your financial freedom. Let me tell you what the Chinese people do, very common among them. I was reading a documentary. What they do this family business. The guy wants to become a billionaire and maybe he only has one daughter or one son or one child or maybe few children or a family business, or he might have many children. But the idea is become a billionaire and transfer the legacy to your children. But unfortunately, in this part of our world, and that's one big mistake people make, it's not to become a billionaire and transfer it to your children, but rather to give birth to your children and use them to become financial security. Please, don't get it wrong. Don't get it from the wrong perspective. What I'm simply saying is, even as a parent, what you should target is build your empire. Build your empire. Because sometimes, let me tell you what is actually happening. Many children will want to help their parents. But do you know why many of them cannot? The simple reason is because they can't. They can't. You are waiting for them to come and give. They can't. Some of them are struggling to feed. They are struggling to even meet up with their own life. You see, now what I even call independence is for you to even have a child that is not depending on you, if I even lucky. For you to even have a child that is at least the child, they even can't ask you for anything. It's already success. Are you aware of that? Yes. Please understand that. To have a child that he doesn't come to ask. In fact, he's self-sustaining. He's hustling on his own. You don't try. You have tried. Please, don't leave your finances in the hands of another. Take charge of it. It's your obligation. If you fail to do that, you'll pay a steep price, and that is why you have to emerge. Fail to emerge, it means most likely you will be forced to leave your finances in the hands of other people, the government. That doesn't mean people will not be dependent. Please don't get it wrong. You can't take that. That for the society to balance, there must be some level of dependency. That's an absolute fact. But Oga, I refuse to be among the status quo. I choose to be different. I choose to be the one in charge. Did you get the logic? That's the mindset. Please, are you learning something? Yes. That's a very important reason to emerge. Because when you emerge, it gives you more opportunity to increase the control over your what? Over your life. That is it. Over your life. There's this general saying that goes, and it has some truth. It might not be 100% true, but to a large extent, it has a heavy truth. That he that controls your finances controls your life. Yes. He that controls your paycheck controls your what? Period. If you want to increase your control over your life, emerge. Please turn to your neighbor, tell your neighbor, emerge. Yes. You need to emerge so that you can take control over your life. You need to emerge because you see the idea behind emerging, you need to take control of your life. Dr. Omar, you see here, I'm sure most of you know the story, except for those of you that are new in the business, you know my story. I was working with my organization, and my job was between 12 to 16 hours. And let me tell you the nature of the work, so that let me give you an idea of what it takes. Anybody that controls your paycheck controls your life. They can even tell you the time you should go and have fun with your family, time you should spend with they can carve your calendar. Even you, the wife, they will tell you the time you are even supposed to be with your husband. Are you aware? Yes. They will help you streamline it. That is why you need to emerge. People don't understand this thing. When we are telling them, see, man, take your business serious, all these things, don't worry. You don't understand it. If most times you don't emerge, you'll be forced to leave your finances at the mercy, maybe of your boss at work. And that's dangerous. That's dangerous. Do you know why you are hired? Who knows why it's hired? You are hired to be fired. It's as simple as that. You are actually hired to be what? To be fired. So whether you like it or yes, it's an ultimate end. Either you retire, you fire yourself, or they fire you. You are actually hired to be what? Be fired. That's Robert Kiyosaki's statement. Either you fire yourself or your boss fires you. When Dr. Omar was working as a doctor, I was working in the last organization that is Ola. In fact, it was a 12 to 16 hours job. And that is a job that requires me to stay within the premises, a minimum of 6 working days, 1 day for my family. So that's from Kaduna to Abuja. So if I want to, instead of traveling, sometimes I have to work for 12 days straight. Then I can have 2 days to come and spend with my family. So the job I need to stay within. At some point in time, we started acting, then I need to bring my family around. No. Doctor, we cannot accept that. No way. So they can't accept that. Because I needed the paycheck, because I needed the money, because I needed just over 100,000 naira, I had to what? Release the control of my life. He that controls your paycheck controls your life. You need to emerge. All right? You need to emerge because of what? For greater peace of mind. Yes. Let me tell you this, why you need to emerge. For greater peace of mind. I was interacting with somebody, maybe if the lady is here, she'll testify. I was interacting with her over the weekend. And I asked her, why are you not in the office? Because she just started the business, I think, last week. In fact, she started on BI. She didn't even have the money to start. So we're trying to see if we can consider her seriousness. So I asked, why are you not in the office? Now we're looking at your seriousness, so let's know that we'll do anything. You say, I'm in the hospital. I said, ah. And I've never seen her. She's in Milan. She says, I'm in the hospital. Said, hospital? What's wrong with you? She says, it's BP. BP? BP? And my perception of her is that she's supposed to be a young lady, a young woman. And I asked her, how old are you? Sorry, forgive me my acting. I've never seen you, but I took you to be a young person. Are you an elderly person? Are you like, how old are you? And she told me she's 29 years old. Yeah. I know it happens. I'm a doctor. What? Somebody say emerge. 29 years. Somebody said something. He said, I don't know where I hear some of these things, but it's just because of my source of information. So sometimes, I'm always, most times, listening to beautiful things that takes me forward. So I might just hear it, I might not even know the source. And the guy said that most times when people leave Nigeria and they go to other countries, even that their prayer reduces. In fact, most time when they get there, you see that even naturally they reduce prayer. Yeah. And somebody was like, is it because maybe they are distracted with the word? No. It's because most of their prayer points, most of the things they are praying for, it has been addressed. When you imagine, even your prayer will reduce. Is the truth. Greater. If it does not, at least it must change. Your prayer point must change. When some of you, your prayer point is you're not even praying for prosperity, you're even praying to avoid attack. You're even praying for somebody not the compound you are staying. Somebody say emerge. Face me, I kill you. It's not face me, I slap you. It's not face me, I face you. Face me, I kill you. You are even praying. You are dreaming and seeing your neighbor. You hate the face of your landlord, but you can't leave the house. That's because you failed to emerge. You failed to emerge. When you emerge, greater peace of mind. Greater peace of mind. I'm serious. 29 years old, blood pressure, high BP. Even though it happens, but the truth about it is you start asking why. That's because she has not emerged. She didn't emerge. Some of you think that the blood pressure is because of problems. Of course, yes, it is. It's because of problems. And I will tell you that most of the problems people face, more than over 90-something% of it, are money related. Yes. They are related. If you trace it well. Very, very few challenges people have, and it's not money related. Very few. Most of the challenges people have, they are one, just track it. In my area, you'll tell me, oh, the brother killed the brother because of the land. It was land they were dragging. So it's not even money, it's land. Who told you it's not money? It's land. Why is money? Oh, this one happened, that one happened. It's family problem. Go and check most of the family problems you are facing. Track it very well. Trace it and ask yourself, if you had, how much do you think if you had at hand, that problem will not be on ground? You'll see that it's money related. Greater peace of mind. I can't come to the office. My mother is sick. In fact, she has been sick for over a year now. We're always going to the hospital. I don't have time. Greater peace of mind. Are we together? Why do you need to emerge? For more flexibility in pursuing your interest and passion. All right? It gives you the power of choice. See, there's something I want you to get very clearly. Very, very clearly. Make no mistake about this. And I've taught this before in some of my training. There are 4 core stages of human life or human's disposition. The first one is called survival. All right? The first one is called what? Survival. The second one is called what? Please tell me, those of you that have attended my training. Security. The third one is called what? Success. And the fourth one is called what? Significant. When you fail to emerge, most times you are in the survival stage. When you fail to emerge, you are in the survival stage. And when you are in the survival stage, most times the power of choice is taken away from you. That's the danger of being in a survival stage. You lose heavily or to a large extent the power of what? Choice. And choice is a very powerful thing. A very powerful thing. For many of you, if you have the choice, there are many things you will do. There are many things you love to do. Some of you even have special things you want to do, you love to do. Some of you want to, your passion. There are things you want to pursue, your interest. There are things you like, but you can't do it because of your job. You can't do it because of why? Because you don't even have the money. You can't do it because why? You're not disposed. And you do many things you do because you don't have the choice. Somebody died, you're supposed to attend the burial, but because you need to get to work, you can't go. Pardon? Your father died. You must apply. That is telling us something. Say if your father dies, you must do what? Before you go, you must do what? You must apply. That's because you failed to emerge. That's why you are applying. That's why you are applying. When you emerge, guess what? People need to apply from you. That's what happens. The power of choice. Some of you, your interest is you want to even worship God well. That's your interest. Maybe you feel that you have a calling from God, and you have this feeling that you want to dedicate yourself to the service of God, but you can't do it. The time you are supposed to be answering your calling, you are looking for daily bread. Or you don't have a choice. When you emerge, you have the power of choice. It gives you the power of choice. At the survival stage, you lose the power of choice because all you are thinking is how to survive. How can I get the next paycheck? How can I put the next food, my next meal, where will it come from? At that level, you can't think, you are not even thinking about interest or passion. When people fail to emerge, they lose their power of choice. That's why they will vote even the wrong candidate. I'm telling you how dangerous it is. You fall in for any temptation because you have the power of choice is taken away from you, almost compared. What do you think it makes people collect Indomie to vote for people? Why do you think people will collect just one wrapper or 5,000 naira and put their hand in ink and sell their future for another 4 years? Because why they fail to do what? Emerge. They didn't emerge. And when you don't emerge, you lose the power of choice. You'll be compelled to do many things. Many things you didn't really like to do. It's a principle. All right. So understand it. These are some of the reasons why you need to emerge. Somebody will die in the hospital because you failed to emerge. One of my team members, one of the leaders in my team, and I'm proud of him. And thank God, You know, this was a person that, in fact, his upline, his leader driving. He even quit the business. He left the business one time. But he revisited him, followed him bomber to bomber. And today, he's even an office owner today. It's coming up. The last time something happened and the dad, I got the story that the dad, you know, was in an accident or something and became an emergency. They needed to do an operation, and that operation was to cost over 100 and something thousand. I think they were supposed to deposit, is it 150,000? So I can't remember. They were supposed to deposit that money. And this guy was a tailor, ordinarily. He was struggling, he was striving with his life. And he failed to do the business initially, but eventually started doing the business. But his dad eventually was having a challenge. And you know what? In order to raise the money, this was an emergency. The family started calling for meeting. They were calling for meeting. Why are they calling for meeting? So my problem is family meeting. Your problem is not family meeting. The problem of the family is money. Now understand it. They want to gather 150,000 now with family meeting. While they were busy in the family meeting, or they were still trying to call for the family meeting, the next thing they heard that the dad has been operated. Who paid the money? The guy. He's in this business. He just simply encashed from his DTC. Encashed money from his DTC. And went and what? Paid for the surgery. And everybody was like, huh? All the babas, all those people that the elderly ones on the family trying to get. The guy has already paid. And he's a young guy. Probably in his 30s or just about. But imagine he didn't do this business. He would have been in that family meeting, probably, and they'll be brainstorming and calculating, analyzing and paralyzing on what to do, on how to raise 150,000 naira. Probably the man would have packed up. Probably the man would have kicked. These are not even buckets. Maybe not the buckets for kick. If for kick iron bucket, maybe he would have kicked iron. And guess what? It will look like it was because that is the way God destined. Of course, everything moves in accordance with the destiny of God. But he would not know that he's paying a steep price because he failed to emerge. But because he emerged, they were busy doing family meeting. He went and paid for the surgery. Somebody tell your neighbor, emerge. Emerge. That is how powerful it is. That is it. All right. Now, what I'm going to be teaching you, so it all boils down to the reason why you are doing this business. Go and find a strong why. From these things we've talked about, if you don't know the reason why you should be doing this business, I think with this one now, you should be able to know the reason why you should be doing this business. Why you should be doing this business. You should know by now. All right. That is it. I won't play this. I think I've already said most of it. Every morning. It is it. What is that thing that drives you in your business? These things are very, very important. So I'm going to be going straight to how you can emerge. All right. I'm going to be giving you the 5 Ds. I'm giving you the what? The 5 Ds to emerge. And I learned this from some of my wonderful teachers, right? The 5 Ds to emerge, right? So I'm going to be taking them one after the other. How you can emerge. So we know what to emerge means, and you know now why you should emerge. Then the question is how, isn't it, right? So let's not just do it the way, oh, go and emerge, go and emerge, go and emerge. No. What do you need to do to emerge? Let me take you to the clinic. There are 5 major things. You see, it's a game, and every game, it can be a game of any game, and every game has its rules, isn't it, right? Yeah, there are different approaches. Some people can give you other kind of ways, strategies and all that to emerge, but it will always be related one way or the other to this, all right? One way or the other, there might be, you must find some relation or correlation with this, all right? So there are 5 major Ds, 5 things which you want to do, or 5 requirements. I call them prerequisites. These are things that if you lack one, you will not emerge. You might have 4, but if you lack one, you will not emerge. If you lack one, you will not emerge. Even one. That's to tell you how sensitive it is. So for those of you on Zoom, pay careful attention. Even if you know 4 of them and you miss one, you will still not emerge. You struggle. It will shock you to know, it will interest you to know that many people have been struggling for years because they fail to understand this thing. All right. Like I said, it's a game, and game has its rules. Some people can play the rules in other ways, but I will give you these rules in a 5D format, right? Number 1, prerequisite, condition. If it is not there, forget. You won't evolve. You won't emerge. Number 1 is called what? Please, those on Zoom, write it on the chat box. It is a key component. It's a prerequisite. It's a requisite, in fact, for you to emerge. Dissatisfaction. One of my teachers, I've streamed this video, he's late now, Ubon King, I think some of you must have heard of him. So the guy said something that anything you tolerate, you permit. Anything you don't get angry over, you do what? You permit it. The reason why most of you will remain on the job, or the reason why many people will remain on their jobs, right, is because they are not dissatisfied yet. The only reason why you wake up every morning, you don't like your landlord's face. You come to work in the morning, you don't like the face of your boss. When I do like this, I'm not referring to Dr. Omar. I hope you like my face. I'm not referring to myself. You don't like the face of your boss, but you must be at work. That's because you are still satisfied with it. When you become dissatisfied, you see, I was in my company, I was not satisfied. How can you tell me that, in 2 weeks, I have to see my family for only 2 days? Or in 1 week, I will see them for only 1 day. I have to be isolated, ostracized. I stayed here for 1 year. I said, this one is prison sentence. As I speak, some of my friends are there for more than 5 years to 6 years now. They are still there. They are still there. And they saw this business when I saw the business too. I showed them the business. They refused to join. That is, and guess what? It doesn't matter how much you complain if you are really not satisfied about it. So the idea behind it is this. It's a requirement for growth. Dissatisfaction is a requirement for growth. If you are not dissatisfied, even your current position, some of you have been, you know, one of the reasons why some of you will not emerge. Some of you wanted to finish the SMO checklist, wanted to become a Kingsman. That's why you did it. You became a Kingsman. The next thing you wanted to become an emerging leader. And eventually you did it. Some of you, the reason why you have not become an unstoppable leader is because the emerging leader, immediately they made you emerging leader. They just added leader to the emerging. You forgot that. You know what? To emerge and to be emerging, you know, there are different things. Emerge means you are fully emerged. Emerging means you are still what? But because they had leader there, finally, I'm the leader. You became satisfied. That's why you will be struggling sometimes in a month. Power 250 is a headache. Because you are still satisfied with where you are. When you become, it's a requirement for growth. When you are not satisfied, guess what happens? It's the mother of revolution. Dissatisfaction is the mother of innovation. When things start happening, things you don't like, what you naturally seek is change. It's as simple as that. Anything that you don't like, you get tired over, you start looking for a way to change it. Period. That's it. Anything that makes you not change it, you are managing it. It means you have not reached your elastic limit. If you reach your elastic limit, I'm telling you, you will know that yes, you need to move, right? That is it. Dissatisfaction, when you become tired and you no longer conform to the status quo. I wanted to quit my job. My mother, that was in December, 3 months into the business. My mother said, no. His job is putting food on the table. And I look at my mother's face. I could not disrespect her, but in my mind, I said, this woman don't know what they go through. Now me wear the shoe. Now me the pain. I are telling me to stay in this. No. I said, okay, I've heard you. I did a little delay. January. I told my wife said, no, just leave it now. At least you can be patching it full time, part time. You can be doing it part time now. At least this one is bringing, that one is bringing. I said, okay, I've heard you, I've heard. I didn't even argue with any of them. I just went and submitted my letter. When I submitted, I came home. And the next day, after like 1 week, they asked me, you're not going to work. I just told them, at some point, I couldn't hold it. I said, I have already submitted it. I'm not even working there again. He said, hey, really? So you mean you still quit the job? That is because I was dissatisfied. The only reason why my friends are still there for 6 years till now is as simple as that now. There's no other thing. Anything you don't get angry over, you permit it. Because that's the model of innovation. The only thing that will force you to what? To go and become educated. Sometimes when you become dissatisfied with ignorance, when ignorance has made you pay a steep price, you become dissatisfied and you are forced. Why do you think people do adult education? Go and ask their story. At some point in time, they became dissatisfied, right? That is it. You become restless. That's what dissatisfaction does. It makes you restless, right? And dissatisfaction makes you become hungry for more. Hungry for more. You want to become part 250? No. I want to become part 500. No. I just started the business. No. I can't be part. How can I be and imagine that I'll be perfect? No. I can make $1 million. You become hungry for more. Please don't get it wrong. Dissatisfaction does not mean ingratitude. They are two different things. Because somebody will say, the idea is you need to always thank God for everything you have and be contented. Yes, that's true. It doesn't contradict this rule. All right? To be contented, to be grateful rather. All right? To be grateful, to be dissatisfied does not mean you are grateful. Please take note. To be dissatisfied does not mean you are ingrateful or you're ungrateful. Please. All right? The dissatisfaction here is a spirit that makes a hunger for more. All right? And that is it. So the idea behind it is when you are hungry for more, that's the only reason why you have to push. If you don't need anything, why will you push? If you're satisfied with everything, if you have everything you need now, is there any need to stress yourself anymore? If you are satisfied, you won't push. Dissatisfaction is what is a requirement for growth. All right? So please get that. Now that is it. And please, I want you to, I don't know if this thing will play. I was supposed to play this video. Please pay attention to this if this will play.
Whenever there's an argument between your heart and your mind.
No. Let me replay this. Let me check the volume. I guess maybe. Okay, good. Please, are we learning something? Yes. Good. Now I'm going to play this. Let me stop the share and reshare. I'm going to play this video. Now pay careful attention. Please listen very, very well. This will lead us to the next thing, the next big thing, okay? Please, those on Zoom, let me see, I hope to.
Whenever there's an argument between your heart and your mind,
whenever there's an argument between your heart,
follow your heart.
Listen very well.
There are things that the heart can understand and feel that the mind cannot relate to. There are things that you feel, that you know in your heart of hearts, that's not logical, it's not practical, it's not realistic, but there's something in you that says, I can do this. If you do what is easy, your life will be hard. But if you do what is hard, your life will be easy. People that are hungry are uncommon people. Hungry have a vision of themselves when they leave here, leaving a legacy and not liabilities.
How do you get to that next level? You must learn to dominate. You cannot compete. Anybody can do this, folks. Anybody can do this. This is not about a college degree. This is about massive amounts of action. Whatever you think you're worth, if you're not sure of your own value, your own goals, and of what you want, your value and your goals.
People that are hungry are willing to do the things today others won't do in order to have the things tomorrow others won't have. Unstoppable. People that are hungry refuse to give up. I'm willing to make this happen. No excuse is acceptable. We're done at any point in time in history, then what's possible for one is possible for me, and I'm going to do it. It's necessary. It's me. It's hard. It's worth it. I don't know what you want to do. Seemed like yesterday when I was the new kid on the block. Now it's 16. My mother, I remember the first home I bought her in. This home she saw. She didn't know I had planned to get that home for her. I purchased the home and I said, Mama, I think I know the people who live there. You do? I said, yes, ma'am. I said, I'm going to stop in and say hello. And I drove there and I opened the door. She got out, and Mama at that time, around 76, she held my arm, and we were walking toward the house. And we got to the door. In my pocket, I took the key out, and I put it in the door. This is your home. Mama, I bought this to you. I pushed it open. She stuck her head in the door. She said, anybody home? I said, no, Mama. Nobody's here. This is yours. If you want a thing bad enough to go out and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time, your peace, and your sleep for it, if all that you dream and scheme is about it, and if you gladly sweat for it and fret for it and plan for it and lose all your terror of the opposition for it, and if you simply go after that thing that you want with all of your capacity, strength and sagacity, faith, with the help of God, you'll get it.
Learn something. Now, the idea here is, let's move to the second one. It brings us to the second point, which is what? Decision, the second D. Now, let me make a reference to the last video we just watched, right? You see, one of the things about people who are hungry, we were talking about dissatisfaction, he made mention of it. He said, people who are hungry are ready to do what others will not do so that they can have what others will most likely never have. That's a sign of real hunger. And that's where you know that, and that's what brings you to what? To decision. In fact, and this is where everything boils down to what? To decision. Now, you might be dissatisfied with the thing, but until that point where you get to a level where you say, if you see, the truth is, a person might be dissatisfied, but that doesn't mean he will emerge. Remember, I told that if anyone is lacking, you can't get it, isn't it, right? You will not emerge. So a person might be dissatisfied. When I interact with some of my people at work, it's not really that they are satisfied. I take it that they are satisfied, but it's not really that they are satisfied. They express concern. They tell me things like, man, this place is hell. In fact, it's just because they've not decided. They are still managing. There is always that point where you tell yourself, enough is what? Enough. If you don't get to that level, you keep patching and managing. You keep taking the insult. A lot of people will keep sacrificing. You see, what they are doing is they are sacrificing the greater peace of mind for a lesser peace of mind. That's what they are doing. Rain is falling. No, I cannot go out. Let me sleep. You keep sleeping. Keep sleeping. And guess what? That is the reason why at the end of the day, you see, some of them will go the extra mile. They will sacrifice that little piece because they made a decision. And at the end of the day, they will be sleeping when others are running. The only reason why people who are financially free will sit down and make money. The only reason why many people will sit down, money will be entering their GTC. Why do you think the company pays you? Even when you are doing nothing at some point in time in this business. Even when you are dead, they still pay you, isn't it? Money can still enter the GTC, isn't it? Meaning your family can still be withdrawing the money. Even after you are even dead, you are after rest in peace. The money didn't stop coming. That is because you've sacrificed the lesser piece for the greater one. Peace. And that is it. And it boils down to decision. Everything boils down to what? Decision. That is it. Once the person makes a decision, guess what? The truth about it is that is always a point where, man, I've had it. Otherwise, you keep permitting it. If you don't get angry to a point whereby you tell yourself, man, this is it, I have decided, this is what I want to do. Forget it. It will still be the same story, the same old story. You struggle. The only reason why you've not generated taxi code is because you've not decided yet. For anybody that has really decided it, trust me, he will do it. That's how powerful God has created us. It's so powerful that if you make the decision, you will do it. There is always that point where that is the point. Decision is a point where you've had it. I've had enough. No. I can't. I can't take this anymore. When I was in my company, I protested. There are times I protested for increase in salary. One day the Indian man called me and told me, Doctor, look, if you don't want this next time, I will increase the salary now. But if you have any problem, please, that is the gate. That I should never protest again. My dissatisfaction was just leading me to protesting for increment in salary. I didn't know that was not the solution to my problem. But until that point where I knew that, man, I've had enough. Enough is enough. If you don't get to that level, an emerging leader. I'm a Kingsman. I finished my SMO checklist. 2 months, 3 months, 4 months in the business, generating 36 codes, even 8 codes to even enter. The only reason why 8 codes to enter primary, it will remain difficult when you've not made a decision. You've not gotten to that level where you say enough is enough, right? That is it. And there's one powerful thing about decision. I tell people this, please take this advice from me and write it down boldly. Don't wait for emergencies before you emerge, because that is what sometimes, this is the point. For most people, this is the point where you usually make a decision. For many. When emergencies finally come, that's when they finally wake up to their reality and they start getting ready to decide. One of my teachers told me, say, don't wait for what? Emergency to emerge. Don't wait for emergencies to come before you emerge. And there is one thing that is inevitable. If you fail to emerge, then be ready for emergency. What will make a man come and start telling you, hey, doctor, my wife is pregnant. She just delivered. In fact, the man came in my office. My wife just delivered. She's in the hospital. I don't know. In fact, I'm confused. The baby, in fact, what? He was talking to me. To him, it's an emergency. To him, it's an emergency. He needs financial support. For me, I was just saying stupidity. I'm very honest with what I was saying stupidity. Every day, from the day of pregnancy to that day she delivered, was approximately how many months? 9. Probably 9 months. Every day that breaks, even when you were not seeing the pregnancy, at some point in time, it started showing. If they play, if they show. If they show. 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, and you are coming to me after 9 months, that is an emergency. Well, let's assume it's an emergency. Don't wait for emergencies before you emerge. And that's what many people do. At the tail point, when things become so critical, somebody's about, and guess what? Hey, no, now. Oh. Emerge to avoid emergencies. Emerge to avoid what? You can write it if you want to write. I think it makes sense, right? Yes. Doesn't it make sense? Yes. Emerge to avoid what? Now, until that happens, guess what? Until that level where you say, I've had it enough, until that happens, you are usually not ready. Because the innovation, what drives innovation or what drives change is dissatisfaction to a point where a person makes a decision. Until that point where you make a decision, you are not ready. Until when you decide to finish your SMO check. Some of you have been on the SMO checklist for 6 months. You will remain there until you decide to finish it. It's the truth. There is no mentorship on earth. Let me tell you the truth. Please mark it down. There is no mentorship. There is no training, Dr. Umar or Dr. Victor, Ambassador Mike, even Jim Rohn or whoever, the mentors of mentors. Champion, any mentor, entrepreneur mentor, there is no mentorship you receive, that will make you a match. Hello? There is no mentorship training that you will receive that will make you a match if you don't decide. If you don't decide, there is no training, there is no, if I like, let me talk from now till tomorrow, next year. Everything you need to emerge is within you, but if you don't decide to do it, nobody will do it for you. Trust me, it won't work. I can teach you that, man, this book is important. If I give you, if you don't decide to read it, will you read it? Until that happens, until that point where you've had enough. For some persons, it's a point of emergency. Please don't wait for that, right? That is it. Les Brown made a statement. Can we read the statement together? He said what? He said, if you do what is easy, your life will be hard. And if you do what is hard, your life will be what? The only reason why people cannot enjoy the greater piece is because they refuse to sacrifice the smaller piece. Period. They refuse to make a decision to sacrifice the smaller piece. They refuse to make the sacrifice to what? To do the needful. There are people that refuse to come here today because why? Rain was falling. But you are here because you made a what? Because you decided to be here. Was the rain not falling in your house too? It was falling in my house. It was falling in everybody's house, but we still came. But guess what? People will do, you will do activities today. Some will not do because it is raining. And indeed, they need peace. But guess what? They are trading the smaller piece for the greater piece. That's just what they're simply doing. Please, are you learning something? That is D number what? Number 2. So we are going to D number what? D number 3 is called what? It's discipline. So you might make a decision to what? To do what it takes to become successful, to emerge. But the truth about it is this. You need discipline to see it through. Hello? Please, are you learning something? You need discipline to see it through. Some people started very well, but at some point in time, they drifted off because of lack of what? Discipline. Discipline involves persistence. It involves commitment. It involves focus. Everything is captured in discipline. That is why Jim Rohn said, not Jim Rohn, Les Brown, the video we just played, he said something that people who are hungry, these are people who want to emerge, they are ready to do what others will not do so that they can have what others will not have. In discipline, we're talking about being laser focused, right? You need to be focused on your goal. You know where you are going to, you know what you are pursuing. I asked all of you, why do you need to emerge? You already told me, I need to achieve this, I need to achieve this. So the question is this, is it possible to really achieve it in this business? The answer is yes. Okay, good. Now that we know that this business can achieve it, I want to become a multi-millionaire. I want to become financially free. Let's tell ourselves the truth. Let me start by telling myself the truth. If I was on my job till today, will I be talking about financial freedom? So it means I know that financial freedom is not even there at all. But if I know that I can become financially free here, guess what? What does that simply mean? It simply means that if I'm smart and I really want that financial freedom, I should be able to what? Give in some level of attention to this. Because we're talking about possibility here. The financial freedom is here. So the idea is this, I'll be ready to do what others will not do so that I can what? Have what others will not have. And it comes with the 10x mindset and action. That's what discipline is about. And this is where I'm going to teach most of you. Please, the guy that asked that question, this is the point to the answer of your question. Everything we'll be talking about answers the question, but this very point is very, very important, right? Focus. See, when they tell you there's no secret, these are the things that it involves. 10x mindset and action. The action here is others are doing 1, but you are doing how many? You are ready to do 10. I want to tell you this truth. The wealth of the world is controlled by less than 5% of people. The wealth of the entire world, people that control it, they are less than 5%. 95% of people are struggling for 5% of the wealth. 5% of people are controlling 95% of the wealth. And let me tell you who those people are. Those are the people that are very intentional about it. They've differentiated themselves. You think it's going to be, do you know what we're talking about? We're talking about freedom here, freedom. Anything called freedom. You've heard it severally. It's not freely given. You're talking of a point whereby you sit down sleeping in your house. And money is still flowing into your account. Ha! Why do you think only few people become successful in every field? In what? Every field. It's not in every field you think of. Few people will rise to the top. Few people get to it. Why is it like that? The reason is because it's tough. Les Brown say it's hard. Yes, it's tough. It's true. But it's worth it, isn't it, right? It's worth it. The mindset is the 10x mindset. See, this is how you play your game. Let me teach for those of you. How many of you want to emerge? Do you want to emerge? Do you want to tell you what to do? I'll tell you on one condition. Would you do it if I tell you? Adopt the 10x mindset. Adopt the 10x mindset. Differentiate yourself from others. Go away from the status quo. See, if there's anything I will advise you here, like I said, this is the point. This is the point of answer for the question that person has asked me. Differentiate yourself from others. That's the only way you can become different. You're not different because you are black or you're white or you're Muslim or you're Christian. No. Until you differentiate yourself, you're not different. In this business, it makes no difference. Whatever you are in the business, whether you are in the Kingsman, whenever you started the business, makes no difference. Let me tell you what makes all the difference. The difference you attach to yourself. Now watch it. The same SMO checklist, we say the SMO checklist will be finished in how long? 1 month. Have people finished it in less than 1 month? Some have finished the entire training from beginning to end. Some have finished it in how long? Even in 4 days. Some have finished the whole training. They sat down and finished the whole training at once. And guess what? Somebody is still on the SMO for 3 months. That's what you choose for yourself. And that person sat down, came, man, doctor, you know what? Is it the guy came, is it this training? He looked at the paper. Is it this thing? This one, Abi? This one. Okay, no problem. Let's start. In less than 1 week, he was done with everything. But that person is still there. The book, they gave him the book. I think you have some team members like that, right? You gave them the book. How long did it take them to read only the book? Anybody that will even spend 1 week reading that book is not ready to emerge. I'm telling you the truth. Chapter 1 and chapter 2, only chapter 1 and 2. And you spend 1 week reading it. And you want to emerge. Later you come and be asking, what is the secret? And you want to receive something while you are sleeping. Chapter 1 and 2. We're talking on the training aspect. Somebody wants to emerge. 10x mindset and action. So we said averagely you should book at least, in the booking challenge, at least you should be booking at least 10 every day, isn't it, right? Between 10 to 20 every day. That is the status quo. Anybody can book 10, anybody can book 15, 20. If you sit down, how long will it take you to sit down and book 20 normally? How long will it take you to sit down and invite 20 people to see your opportunity? Maybe 1 hour, 1 hour, 30 minutes, right? Guess what? Let me tell you what the 10x mindset does. Others will book 20. If you have the 10x mindset, this is where the discipline comes in. If you have the 10x mindset, right? Where the discipline comes in, where the differentiation comes in, is this is where all the difference comes in. Tell him he can come in, he can just come in. You can tell him to come in. Come in. If you have the 10x mindset, guess what? Others will book 20. Hello? You are the one that says I should tell you what to emerge, what to do to emerge. Abi? Listen very well. Others will book 20. You will not want to do 20. Muhammad Ali, do we know Muhammad Ali? He's late now, right? He's a legend in his field. And I think he was a boxer or something. Yeah, it's a boxer. I was listening to, I listened to these beautiful, motivating and inspiring speeches a lot. So I was listening to one inspiring speech on YouTube, and it said something, and that thing captured my attention. They were asking other boxers, what is their maximum push-up they do? How many did they do before they stop? And others were talking about the numbers they do, and all that. Do you know what Muhammad Ali said? He said that he doesn't know how many he does, actually. But the only thing he does is that he starts counting. He usually starts his counting when he's tired. You know, when you are doing push-up, the pressure. Listen very well. Are you aware is one of the greatest boxers, one of the biggest, the most successful boxers that set one of the best records of all time, right? Even till date, people are still striving to get to his level, right? He has set amazing record. So he didn't know the numbers he used to do, the number of push-ups he does. But he said what he knows that whenever he has reached, he's now tired. He has been pushing up, and he's now tired. That time he's tired and the pain start coming in. Then he now starts. That's it. He starts counting when he has reached his limit, when he's feeling pain, and when he starts feeling the pain, then he will be forcing himself and be counting. So he's no longer able to do it. People sit down in below customer care in your business. Imagine the beautiful thing you do to make money, making calls. Some of you that are Kingston, just make calls, invite people, do follow up and all that. It's beautiful because trust me, it's far better than going to carry bag of spend. Trust me, it's far better. Now listen, you have to sit down and make calls. Sitting down to make calls has become a work for people. Can you imagine this? And a person wants to emerge. Look how beautiful what you are doing to make money is to sit down under a shade without any stress. Carry your phone, make call. And after you make 20 calls, you say, I can't keep myself. I've tried. I've booked 20. How many did you book? Some will even have the mouth order. To say that they booked 5. Hey, God. I did 5. God of mercy. Personal invitation. I did personal. How many? 1, 2. And you want to emerge. You want to emerge. God of mercy. Damilola. No, not Damilola. What's this girl's name? Please remind me this lady's name in my summit. Dominion. Dominion Paul. I think you saw her testimony, right? She's how old now? She started a business at the age of 18. She's 20 years old. Last year, at the age of 19, she built a house for her mother, right? Oh, you are now aware? I would have shared it, I would have put it here now. It was in the group, and I posted it. She started business 2018. Last year, 2019, she started business at the age of 18. That's in 2020. And last year, she built a house for the mother. This year, she launched a Mercedes-Benz, her car. How many of you would love to be like Dr. Elijah? Everybody, Abi? Everybody wants to be like Dr. Umar. Everybody wants to be like Dr. Victor. You want to become like all these successful people. Let me tell you one of the things. I was listening to Dr. Elijah one day, and he told me something that catched my interest. He said, he was talking about it. This is about the 10x mindset. These are for people that have been in the business for long, maybe since 2019 or thereabout. You will know suit 19 in Google. Yes. There was a time in that suit, if you go and check the attendance, the only 2 codes you see in that suit, it is MB, 381MB, and 381DVU. There was a time in that suit. It was either, if it is not Dr. Elijah Mba's code, it is my code. Are you listening? If you don't see MB, you always see MB, and you must always see DVU. And that was the time Mr. Ahmed Minkalu, is he here? Please, let's give him a round of applause. And to all our unstoppable leaders, every single person. That was the time when, you know how we used to do it? The invitation, we'll get, oh God of mercy. Everything, just join everything together. You want to raise the invitation. Dr. Lejamba did something. And then, let me tell you something, how powerful. Let me tell you the power of the 10x mindset and action. Look at how it operates. Do you know what it means? If you have somebody on your paying leg, meaning anything the person does, it will pay you money, 7,000, matching bonus. Will you not be, I think you'll be praying for the person to be doing more, isn't it, right? Do you know what it means for somebody that you are in his paying leg? Now, listen very well. Somebody that you are in his paying leg called you. And Dr. Lejamba was his mentor called him and said, because that day, look at what he started doing. He will book, he will fill up about 3 halls. If there are like, let's say the event is 1 o'clock, for example, he will give his prospect 12:30 to come. And he will book so much that the entire hall will not only be filled up, but even the next hall and another hall. Please, are you following? Yes. He books so much that at the end of the day, his prospect will fill everywhere. Other people coming, their prospect will be what? Outside, because he has already even given his own 30 minutes before the time. He was booking so aggressive that, you know what it means for your mentor to call you, eh? Your own mentor will call you and say, "Guy, this is not the way to book. You don't book like this." That was what his mentor told him. He said, "You don't book like this. You don't invite like this. I mean, this is much. Why you control your, I mean." I'm just giving you an idea of what people did before they emerged. When he eventually rose to become one of the highest earners worldwide, when everybody sees it, it looks like, wow, 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 wow. You were not there. 10x mindset and what? Action. You want to emerge and you are inviting, you have 300 contacts in your phone and you are selecting, and you want to emerge. If you can change your mindset, you can change your life. According to Norman Vincent Peale, all right? If you want to increase your output, you must first increase your what? Input. The reason why many people will not emerge is because they are not ready to make the sacrifice. Some of them, they cannot even start this business. To carry 50,000 out of their pocket, and start this business. That little input is difficult for them. Please, I want to ask this question. If somebody is not willing to make a sacrifice for himself, just as low as 50,000 to start this business, or to even sit down and make come, please, can we start blaming God Almighty if if God didn't include him among the people that will build that in Asoko? I don't know if you get what I'm saying. The person will build as low as 50,000, you cannot go and sacrifice. And that is what happens to a lot of people, why they cannot emerge, why they cannot evolve. Because they don't want to pay the price. They don't want to what? Make the sacrifice, right? Most people fail. Now look at it. Most people fail. I think I mentioned this last week. Let me repeat it again. Most people fail not because they aim too high and miss, but because they aim too low and what? And hit. I talked about the story of Michael Jordan, right? In the last stop, in the last Super Leadership Money. Did I? Yes. Can you remember that? I told you I was listening to someone who talked about Michael Jordan, that they were taking the player that had the highest shot on goal. And it was who? Michael Jordan in the basketball, whatever, industry, or whatever you call it. He had the highest shot on goal. But when they were down there, and he has the highest shot on miss, basket missed. He still has it, meaning he took more shots than any other person. Period. There's no other thing. So people are following one prospect for 1 week. Finally, let's even assume you got the prospect in 1 week. You got how many prospects? One person signed into your business. That's what you got. Yes, you aim too low, even though you got your target, but it was too low. One. Somebody else did 100. And out of that 100, he got 20. That's like 20% result. Your own is 100% result because 1 over 1 is 100%. You pursued one and got the one. But for 1 month, you're on that one. But another person did 100 and eventually got 20. When you look at it percentage-wise, it's 20 over 100. Yes, you think you've beaten the person. The person has actually beat you because he has gotten 20, you've gotten 1. So people fail most times, not because they aim too high and miss. Yes, you did 100 and you missed 80. That's beautiful. So what? But you got 20. But because they aim too low and hit. Please, are you learning something? Listen to this. Let's watch this. And I think this will also bring some, so that you can listen to some of the people who are successful. All right, listen to some of their.
I was a big dreamer, and so my job was to clean these 7 floors.
Please take note. Let me give you an insight. This will lead us to the next D. All right, it will lead us to the next D. All right, it will lead us to the next D. Listen very well.
I was a big dreamer, and so my job was to clean these 7 floors between Friday and Sunday. So every time I would go to the 7th floor was the CEO's office. So I would bust in like I was the CEO. I'm dreaming like I'm the CEO now. And who would ever thought I'm the CEO of my own company?
Well, I think that the number one thing is you have to have a very clear vision, a very clear goal of where you want to go, because only then you will get there. You can have the best airplane or the best ship in the world, but if the captain doesn't know where to go, he will just drift around. If the pilot does not know where to go, he will just drift around with his plane.
Let me try.
I think the key.
Your volume. This is it. Click on it. Then I click. Okay. All right. So please let's pay attention to this. So the idea is just on.
And so my job was to clean these 7 floors. I would go to the 7th floor was the CEO's office. So I would bust in like I was the CEO. I'm dreaming like I'm the CEO now. And who would ever thought? I've been blessed.
Was it cleaner? But anytime you go to the CEO's office, you always act as if it's the CEO.
Well, I think that the number one thing is you have to have a very clear vision, a very clear goal of where you want to go, because only then you will get there. You can have the best airplane or the best ship in the world, but if
so of course you need to know where you're going. Very important.
If the pilot does not know where to go, he will just drift around with his plane. So I think the key thing is that we know where we're in front of you, the goal.
To thrive in whatever you do, guess it. Be as clued up as the next man, because that's if you don't know where you're going, what your targets are, you're never going to get there, period.
The other thing that's important is that you got to shoot for it and think big, because then you're going to get big. Then you're going to go and achieve big things. That is.
Again, so if you shoot for the moon.
I have to tell each and every one of you that at age you can achieve anything that you set your mind to. And I always say if I...
If you think that you're going to go and accomplish something really special, think you can do it without working, you make a big mistake. Because no matter what I did, if it was in bodybuilding or in acting, or if it is in the political arena, it always took a lot of work. And you got to put out, and you got to, something to forget about.
Said if you are not ready to work hard, you should do what?
I truly believe we are all equal as human beings. If we are obsessed with something, regardless of anything else, if you are to succeed, and that is a philosophy that I carry, my coaches carry, and start over here, and a phenomenal athlete share that belief is inspiring right back to me. It shows that we are thinking correct. This is hard work. This is an obsession. Nothing can beat hard work.
Not even talent. Please take note. Hard work will beat talent if talent does not work.
This here is the reality. Do you know that the competition is not the reality?
Listen, the work is behind the scenes. Is where the work is done. Everything's done to get.
The work is behind the scenes. Competition is just 2 minutes, 3 is what makes it.
In the best of times, even when I was world #1 for many weeks and months in a row, that's certain, because if you don't do anything or you just staying the same means going backwards, because the other guys are working hard and improving.
Did you learn something? Let's move on to the next D. The next D is called what? Determination. I think we're winding down. Please pay careful attention as we wrap up. Now, let me pick up something here. He said, if you don't work hard, you might stay the same, isn't it right? Yes. But he says staying the same means what? It's as simple as that. And it's the same thing with our business. When a person starts this business, there's nothing like, though the beauty of our business is that even if you don't make a move, you might look as if you remain the same, but you're actually going back, because what is happening is this. People who started the same time with you will keep moving. Just because you're not doing it does not mean other people are not doing it. That's the truth. And you're going to say, oh, this person is 3 years in the business and is here. You are 5 years in the business and you are still somewhere. You might think, oh, no, it's the same place where I was. We are not the same place. The truth about it, there's a place we are supposed to be. You are behind where you are supposed to be. Staying the same is going back. So let's talk about determination. In determination, this has to do more, all right, with your mindset, your belief. What do you believe about the company? What do you believe about yourself? What do you believe about your leader? More of yourself, right? That is it. Do you believe it is possible? And let me ask you people this question. Do you believe that your dreams are valid, that you can achieve them through this business? Yes. Please, you believe, say, I believe. I believe. And that is it. Now, the idea is this. What do you believe? Because if you don't even believe you can do it, it's a waste of energy. Any work you are putting in, you just see it like, let me just pass time. That's the truth. But if you're doing it with belief, then it means you can actually work. You are actually intentional and you are driving somewhere, all right? You must believe that even those people that are doing it are not better than you. See, this one is very, very important. When they announce top 1, so and so, they announce top 2, top 3. You have to believe that the people that became those top 1, top, they are not better than you. Hello? See, this one is, this is a, how many of you really want to be top 1? How many of you believe that Dr. Omar is better than you? That means you have the chance to become top 1. Any of you that believe that I'm better than you, you've lost it. You are finished. In fact, you will remain down there forever. I'm telling you the truth. So the truth about it is this: the person talking to you is not even better than. It's not a human being. How many heads does he have? It's one now. How many heads does all the people that are successful? They all have one head. So if they are doing it, it means you can also do it. And the beautiful thing about it is this: you can actually do something that has never been done before, probably. But the joy about what we do is that you are not trying to do what has never been done before. Did you realize that? So for you, what should make you doubt? Are you thinking whether it will not work? It's not like we are test running. How many millionaires are in C21FG? Does any of you even know how many millionaires? At least they're in thousands, isn't it? Thousands of people have been millionaires. If thousands of people have done something, not 1, not 10, not 20, not 100, thousands of people have been millionaires. How many people have bought cars in this organization? Do you know how many? There are many, isn't it? So why should you be thinking whether it will not happen to you? Why should you be thinking, some people say, you know, this business, my problem is I don't think I can do it. And so be it, because as a man thinks in his heart, Abi, good. That is it. So understand it. And this is a powerful statement of determination. Somebody made a statement 2016. When she made this statement, you know, we've been talking so much about men. Let's bring it down to women. This lady made this statement in 2016. Now she's a very huge, she's a celebrity. She's a Nigerian. How many of us know the Amusan? You know her, right? Beautiful. Can we read this statement together, please? 1, 2, go, please. That was a statement in 2016. When was she celebrated? She was celebrated this year. She ran a race. Some point in time, she lost the race. She didn't do that much. But she made a statement, even while she was at the lowest. She said, unknown now, but soon I will be what? Unforgettable. And whether you like it or not, she's already unforgettable because she has won a gold medal. She has set a world record. Abi, she's in world record now. So whether you like it or yes, even whether the enemies or our village people like it or yes, she's already on record. He says soon, that was 2016, she was saying this. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 6 years ago. She said, unknown now, but soon I will be unforgettable. And when she eventually emerged, people went and brought out her tweet of 2016. And look at what this lady said. And that's what you should do. Speak it out. Because people are waiting for you to crash out of this thing. They are waiting for you to fail. So that when you fail, they'll tell you, I think I first tell you, I tell you so they waste your time. Because whether you like it or not, anybody will tell them, shall I tell you? Either you tell them after you have succeeded and bought your car, like some of the leaders are telling other people, shall I tell you, shall I tell you? Everybody is pursuing you. Some of you now, they are calling you now that they want to sign into your business because you have bought car. That's what is happening. But I believe you are quit. Guess what? It means determination was completely off. So the last D is what? The final D is divinity. Now, I think it would have said God, right? The first cardinal culture of C200 is what you must hand over your business. So ordinarily it should have been G, God factor, right? But I deliberately made it, made it D so that it will rhyme. But the idea is this is the God factor. And it's deliberate that we made it the last. Do you know why? Do you know why I made it? Ordinarily, which one is supposed to come first? Divinity, right? Do you know why we made it last? Somebody asked me why. That's because it's actually the most important. However, people have this tendency. I did when I wanted to start. What is the secret? And I say, man, it's God. Automatically, you see, people have this tendency to be lazy and put all the things they are supposed to do on God. Once you ask them, how did you do it? Man, it's God. God will do one for you, will do one for me. They can go on fasting and prayer. They'll climb any mountain, they'll be praying. And people want to pray into success. Even they want to pray and boycott hard work. And it can't work. That's the truth. Understand it. You must commit your goals to God because no matter how hard you try, we all know the truth that success comes from God. You put in your best, but it will still go in accordance to what God has destined for you. That's the truth. And that's the real mindset. That's the correct mindset. All right? Somebody made a statement, but though I put it in my own way, which I feel is more proper, right? The person made a statement. He said, God has given us brains and abilities so that we can give him rest. Rest is not an attribute of God. All right? God controls the universe and he doesn't need to rest. But now look at it. He said, God has given us brains and abilities so that we can do the needful. So you don't expect God Almighty to do for you what you should do for your what? Period. That's why I deliberately brought this to the end. Because you need to be prayerful. When you wake up in the night, you pray. When you, at all times, pray. And the Muslims, you do your tahajjud. Pray. Put your business there. It's not only ask for this one too. Ask God to make things easy for your team members. Yeah? I think my Christian brothers, even the Bible tells you, say pray without what? So, keep praying. Put it in prayer. But however, don't try to pray the hard work out. There are things God will do for you, but you see that part you will do for yourself if you fail to do it. What did God promise to bless? He promised to bless what? The works of your what? Of your hand. So it means you need to do some work so that God will have what he will do what? Bless. If you fail to do the work, how do you expect God to bring money from heaven and you just wake up one morning and then money just, a bag of money, millionaire, and it doesn't work that way. The truth about it is this. That is why God gave you brains and abilities so that you can do the needful. All right? Now, in conclusion, let's read this together, please. Have you gotten value today? Have you learned something today? Beautiful. So we're going to be ending it here, but let's take a read of some disciplines. Let's read this together. 1, 2, go, please. That's the humble truth. The process can bring some level of discomfort. It's true. But the truth about it is this. It is worth it. You know why it's worth it? Somebody asked me why. Let's read this together. Can you read the second one together? When people fail to do what they are supposed to do, or they trade their greater peace for a smaller peace, the truth about it is this, it ends up in regret. However, when you fail to do what you're supposed to do, most times it brings about regret. Life gives credit. That's what one of my teachers told me. Say, life gives credit. Anyhow you choose to live life, life will permit you. If you choose to live life anyhow by, sleeping, enjoying yourself, eating sugar anyhow you like, no problem. But there's a price to pay for that. When diabetes comes, that is the what? That is the price to pay. Did you get the logic, right? Life gives credit, and you always pay back the credit at some point in time. So the idea is this. The idea is this. Can we read it together, the final one? And the choice is in our hands. Pay the price now so that you can play as much as you like later. Or, no problem, you can play with the time and then we pay the ultimate price later. Somebody say, God forbid. That is it. We've come to the end of this today. I appreciate every single one of you that have been part of this. I had one video to play, but I'll suspend it. Don't worry, what I'll do, I might just post the video on the platform, all right, where you can see most of the successful people, what they also did, and eventually. The truth about it is this. If you are to ask me now, with what I've told you now, so far, because this training was designed based on the question I was asked, all right? There was no way I could type this on WhatsApp. I just told the person, join the Super Leadership Monday and get your information. Now, if a person comes and asks you eventually now from the training so far, and asks you, what is the secret to success? What is the answer to it? Somebody tell your neighbor there is no secret. This is what I just told you. If you take it as a secret, fine. There's no secret. This is what it is. Go and ask anybody that have succeeded. This is what it is. All right. So I appreciate every single one of you. God bless you all. Are we ready to dominate now? Yes. Are we ready to swing into action? Yes. Are we ready to make the calls and go through the trainings and do everything needed to emerge? Yes. Somebody tell your neighbor, in fact, tell yourself, not even your neighbor, tell yourself, because you are speaking to yourself, tell yourself, I must emerge. I must emerge. It's not loud enough. It's not that. Wait. Do you really want to emerge? Yes. You really want to emerge? Yes. Have you decided, or are you dissatisfied with your position now? Yes. Are you determined? Yes. Have you decided? Yes. You are ready to emerge? Yes. And you've committed it to God? Yes. Then tell yourself that I must emerge. I must emerge. With God on my side. Yes. God bless you all. I appreciate every single one of you. Let's get into action and I hope to see every single one of you at the top. Don't forget, this is the month of August. It's winding down. We have just one more week for the month of August to finish. And there's going to be a massive celebration. And if most of you do the needful, you'll be celebrated. Some of you have already done per 250. You're already heading for per 500. Some of you are already above per 500. You're heading for 1 million already. Some of you are already more than 36 code. Some of you are still struggling to generate 36 code. Some of you are struggling to get into the primary. You are still in pre-nursery. Please leave that realm. All right? So that you can emerge. Let's celebrate by the end of the month. All right? God bless every single one of you. My prayer is that none of us will labor for trouble. Amen. And the prayer also is that God will bless the works of our hands. And we will all definitely emerge successful in this business. Amen. And will become like the torch bearers, the spearheaders, when it comes to successes, not just for ourselves, but for generations unborn. And by the grace of God, we'll all emerge. God bless you all. I appreciate every single one of you, okay? So I'll see you up next week. Make sure you always invite your team members to Super Leadership Monday. Thank you very much.